Hello.
Wow. Hello.
Hello. How's it going, Veronica?
Hello. Wow. This is a change of pace.
Yeah, it's weird because, welcome. This is episode 1. I don't know how we're going to do this yet. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. We'll
But
figure it out.
episode 1 of the NgoVo Convo DC animated New 52 review. Where two stupids make it hype.
Right.
Right. That's
wow,
hype.
That was.
We are
You're
definitely
questioning yourself.
we are working on this intro because I should have wrote this before. I figured we'd just figure it out. No big deal. But I'm one of your hosts, Harrison Hill, and I'm joined by Veronica Vo. She's right over here.
Wow. He's right over there.
Wow. Look at us.
Wow.
But if you're new here, we both just want an excuse to talk about anything that ranges from animated comics and really just cleaning up our backlog, which this is kind of doing.
Yes.
Cough, cough. But some would say
this is my backlog.
that is more Veronica's backlog.
Yes.
I just get to rewatch stuff, so it's great. But some would say we're conversing.
Wow.
Like,
NgoVo Convo, like the logo above Harrison's head.
right
That
up
way.
there. Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Good job. Look
But-
at us.
You can watch every episode on youtube.com or listen to it as a podcast by searching up NgoVo Convo on your podcast service of choice.
Wow. We're on 10 different platforms.
All 10 of them.
10.
If we're missing one, just let us know. But I kind of
Or
doubt
don't.
it.
Or don't. Yeah. Just, or don't.
But Veronica, in this side episode that we're trying to get going, because we just want to, we're going a bit too slow on our catch up because our backlog is insane.
It is.
But on this episode, we're going to be talking about the DC animated New 52 series. It never really was outright, or it kind of was. It was. So that whole animated series is what I believe that DC really should just be doing. So therefore, I complain. DCU.
DCU, yeah.
Or just even
Or DC in
even
general.
before. Like, even during this whole Snyder thing, like, they were trying to, but I was like, hey, look, DC, like, what was it called? DCEU? Or, I forget.
I think it was DCEU, and then when James Gunn
took over, it's DCU.
Took over, it's DCU, yeah.
But, yeah, Cinematic Universe. But, or, no, it's not. Anyway,
no.
Not a big deal. Anyway, if you heard the previous episodes where we talk about DC stuff, I always gripe and be like, look, they did the animated universe correctly. Look at that. It just worked. Finally, we're just deciding to just watch it. And I'm like, Veronica's already kind of started.
Yeah, I'm like a quarter of way through this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I've seen all this stuff, and I keep I've gushed about it for years now. And I think Veronica started me too. I'm like, guys, you should watch it. This is really good.
Yes,
this is better than the Batman movie. Or Batman v Superman or something. Whatever is coming out. But yeah, so in this episode, we're going to be talking about technically the first. It wasn't officially. It was just kind of, it was during the whole like Flashpoint paradox that came out. And that was the jumpstart of New 52 or the New 52 line. Because now we're not on that anymore. We're like on something else. New Frontier.
Because it finished, right?
Oh, that finished, yeah.
The New 52 finished?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they're on something else now.
Yeah, currently
like,
they just finished a whole nother
different.
thing. We just finished another reboot, so now we're on the New Frontier or something.
The New Frontier, yeah.
Yes, it's
okay.
It's great.
Oh,
I have a mixed bag of reboots and like restarts and whatever the hell. But in this one, don't worry about it. We're talking about Flashpoint, so it's an older movie, and it's on HBO Max now. I would know. I literally just watched it again just in case. I scrubbed too. Don't worry about it. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's on HBO Max. It's like what, an hour and a half, 2 hours, about 2 hours. Hour 45 minutes,
2
I believe.
hours. Yeah, an hour and a half,
so
something like that.
Go ahead and give that a watch, and you can come back and listen to our conversation and rant and or gush. I don't know, depending. We'll see. But to start off, before then, we'll go into non-spoilers. Veronica, what'd you think?
I started this series last summer, I think.
Last summer? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it being pretty recent.
Because Young Justice season 4 ended, and we did all those reviews, and then I was like, oh, I'm out of like DCAU stuff to watch. And then you and your brother you're like, no, there's more.
There's so much more.
There's so much more. And then like you two were like, start on the New 52, and I was like, okay. So I've been kind of like slowly starting it, and then I stopped for a little bit to get back into my anime. But when I first watched this the first time around, I was like, initially I was like, how are they gonna restart everything? And then I saw Barry, like the Flash, and I was like, got it. He's gonna mess up somewhere, somehow.
This is the moment. This is actually like one of the comics that also touched the CW series.
Oh,
and
really?
There's the spoiler on this one. There's a moment that they kind of play off the Flashpoint as well.
Oh, okay.
It was it was
early on.
Very early on, and I think it was, I don't remember if it was a crossover event, but I know it was a big no, it kind of was. It kind of was.
It was a crossover.
It was a crossover. Yeah. It kind of dealt with that.
Yeah.
So that played off of this comic like story, and I remember seeing this one, and I was like, "This is so cool." I have the comic for this. Actually,
I think you do have the comic.
I have it because I was like, "This is." It was big for me because I was like, "Oh, this is cool." This is when I had money, I could buy stuff.
Wow. But yeah, I thought it was like really cool. Flash is like Barry Allen Flash is one of my favorites. Like DC superheroes.
Yeah.
You can take Batman. I will take the Flash.
Oh no, and it's actually funny because every time I bring up DC stuff to some people, they always go for the Flash, which for some reason I actually never expected, because which then to me means that you actually care about DC enough that you read and watch stuff. Because my go-to people, I mean, I seem like the go-to. I was like, oh, Batman's the easy one. But once I explain why, people are like, oh, you actually like DC.
Oh,
but
yeah.
if someone brings a Flash, I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay, you know Flash stuff.
Yes. Because Barry, to me, is a very chaotic human being. And he's super funny. Especially in, like, CW, The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
He's very, like, nerdy and funny and quirky. So coming into this movie, I was like, oh, it's going to be quirky, nerdy Barry. But it wasn't.
It's like
it wasn't the Barry that I was expecting.
It's like prime Barry
good.
Allen.
Yeah. It was prime Barry Allen.
Yeah.
But this like version of Barry and the Flash, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
I remember watching this the first time because I was coming off of watching like Red Hood, Under the Red Hood, and like all this others. Because I was on the hunt for like animated movies, because I really do believe that anime movies, and I still kind of do that, the anime movies do a better job of like capturing comic book stuff, because one, it's animated, so it's easier for them to do crazy stuff. I think in this movie, it off the bat, it's relatively dark. So I think it's like it's pretty gruesome. It just. And it's different in that, like, if people know the backstories of each character, I think this is a nice one, because without spoiling, if you're trained on my side, spoilers. Spoiler alert. I think there we go.
Oh, always a spoiler.
But try not to spoil too much. But essentially, Barry, this is a Flashpoint. Flashpoint Paradox is playing on a lot of the typical backstories. That's a long horn. My God.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Sorry. So this movie plays on the idea of like, most people know the general story behind, or if you know the story behind each hero, it's cooler to watch because it flips everything on its head, as much as I'll say. So
everything's like swapped, and it was crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's fun to keep up with, fun to see like how things happen. So I, for one, really like this. I think the only thing I didn't like, non-spoiler, is the art style. And the art style is like the very, what's that guy? I forget. In Marvel, he's memed on. The artist is memed.
I know who you're talking about.
It's the one where like you see like the really buff Captain America, but his chest nothing's proportional.
Yeah.
That's what the animation in this one feels like. So it's always hard to me. It's hard to pitch this one, but I can always say that the ongoing movies fix the art style, in my opinion.
Yeah, because Barry has a thick chest.
Everyone had a thick chest and tiny head.
Everyone had like 8 to 10 packs.
Yes.
Like,
It was
abs.
very
I was
weird.
like, oh my god.
It was I remember. So that was my one card when I first watched this. I was super excited about it, but when I first watched it, I was like, the art style was weird. I couldn't. I still can't. It's still different. But then it's just I watch it knowing it'll get better. So, but yes,
No, I totally agree.
overall, I think it's great. So go ahead and go watch it if you haven't. Otherwise, if you have, we're about to get into spoilers.
Spoilers.
So I'm just gonna give a countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, spoilers.
Okay, that was like the quickest. You're like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So I want to talk about it. Okay.
We're gonna talk about it.
All right. So I'm gonna kind of break this up, Veronica, into like parts because
Okay.
it's kind of that's how the movie is, so it's kind of easier to talk
Yeah.
about. So part in the first third, I'd say, because it's about three acts. First third is like
3-ish. Yeah.
I guess first part is essentially the whole how Barry was before Flashpoint.
Yeah.
And did you feel like it was an interesting like I thought it was really fun to see how like one give Barry's backstory, like how like the whole his mom dying and everything,
Like
right?
dying.
Yeah.
I
Just
thought
to
it was-
ground that.
It was interesting
Yeah.
because I mean I know that's one part of a story of Barry, like his mom like dying. Spoiler alert, CW does that. I mean, yeah. But it was interesting because I feel like Barry in this story, even though he was visiting his mom's grave, I feel like he wasn't mourning or grieving as like a son, but like he was grieving like because he had to, if that makes sense. Like I feel like the relationship pre Flashpoint, like he took advantage of like a mom being there, but then she's gone and now he's just like it's like disconnected. That's how I felt when I first watched it.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly. I feel like I'm not.
It's kind of confusing, but are you trying to say like how
Like I just felt like
the
he was like
attachment's not there?
like the attachment wasn't like
so
fully
it just
there.
didn't feel like it was okay as compared to like CW or like other stuff.
Yeah, or like other stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I thought he'd be like sobbing at the grave.
No, I think at this one, like, you
But I
mean as a
mean, this
kid
one
or
he's
as an
like-
adult?
No, because then my next point was like he's an adult, so maybe he has like better
I think he's had
grasp at,
time.
like,
No, I was gonna say I think it's
you
more like
know.
he had time to grieve already.
yeah,
So I think it's
So-
just that you could tell. To me, it just felt more like he was just guilty. He just felt guilt.
yeah, that too.
So not really much grief, but more guilt. Now that he knows, that, or he keeps saying like, "Oh, I should have been there. I could if I just ran faster." Blah blah blah. All that.
No, but yeah, that was my one thing. But I guess
Which
more
is
adulty.
sidebar. It's really funny comparing this to CW now that you bring it up, because when this came out, I think CW was already out or was going to, because then the Run Barry Run memes like
Oh
kept
yeah,
going.
yeah.
and
But
which-
I liked how this was like detective-esque.
Mm,
I think that's like the one thing that DC does really well is like their detective work.
yeah, like like adding some mystery.
Kind
to,
of like the mystery. So like we know it's Barry, we know it's the Flash, he's a superhero, but like where was like the secret gonna come out? Like I was wondering when the secret was gonna come out and who he was gonna blab it to, because you know how Barry Allen is.
Yeah. That's true. But I also thought this was so. The first part was really fun because it kind of just introduces the world, like the status quo. It just sets the status quo,
Yeah.
everything that everyone knows. Like, is it because Flash goes against the Rogues, so his Rogue Gallery essentially, but then introduces RF, and
And then
like,
you see like all like the Justice League and like
yeah.
It
Did-
was cool.
Did you think? I thought it was cool to see how they each handled the bomb. Like, so because RF gets a bomb on each one of them, and he's like, oh, okay, now they're all gonna die. It's like, wait, what? But then the Justice
was
League
really
swoops
funny.
in. It was really funny because it's like they're like, what?
I love how Wonder Woman was like, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, like how each one of them handles the bomb is so funny. I think Superman's the most like simple, but it's actually the funniest in my opinion because it's just literally he's like,
He just like
waiting's the
slings-
worst part.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'd be terrified.
I'd be so scared.
Yeah.
And then you have like Green Lantern and like Batman working together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
It was so funny.
yeah, it was great. So I thought that was all fun, but then of course RF like gets captured, all this stuff. And then he makes a comment.
And of course there's like a twist.
There's a twist. And he makes a comment and Bruce is like, don't worry about it. But Barry's like, no, I will. And he runs back in time to save his mom. Now, this is the part that I think is very interesting where now that he saved his mom, everything's flipped, right? Or somewhat.
Yeah,
we don't know
somewhat.
what. But we see like, oh, impending doom. And it's like, oh, wait, what's going on? What threw you off the most out of all the things that changed up? Or what did you think was like interesting, or what was like that popped out?
Aquaman actually.
Like his chest?
Yes. And his abs. No, so
and his receding hairline?
Yes, that too, actually.
Aquaman was
really poking.
He was done dirty in this movie, honestly.
Yeah, no, he really was. I was like, wow, Aquaman. No, because every Justice League character, their demeanor, their like superhero status flipped basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Aquaman's like, when this version came up, he was like, oh, like we got killed these humans, like hate them, blah blah blah. He was just like anti-human.
Yeah.
He
super
wanted just
anti-human.
like yeah, he basically wanted to like have like a tsunami and like killed everyone and start it over. Basically, that's what that was his plan basically.
Mm-hmm.
But besides the big chest and the receding hairline from Aquaman, I thought his personality and basically like, because to us Aquaman is like, oh, he's, you know, half human, half mer person, fishman, whatever, like. And so like you'd think like he'd understand how, you know, humans work and like how their emotions are. But then I was just like,
But no. In this one, they didn't really delve into it too much. I think I missed it, but I don't think they did. There's always this is essentially a what if for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of things they flipped, right? So in this one, what if, that's the one thing they didn't really address was, did he live on the land?
That is true.
Because let's say like, because in here, Wonder Woman becomes queen of the Amazons.
Yeah.
Let's say like, let's just
but
name
she's
on,
also anti.
but she's also anti like
human like,
or like, yeah,
like normal people.
Yeah,
just normal people.
They're like Amazonians are the best or something like.
Yeah.
But like, let's just throw some of it out different. Like the difference is really quick. Like for instance, Bruce dies instead of his parents. So that one to me is the coolest flip on the head, because then I was like, okay, yeah, Thomas becomes Batman. Okay, cool. But who's Joker? Then they reveal that Martha becomes Joker. I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Speaking of Martha, Superman doesn't go with the Kents. He's crashed into Metropolis.
Yeah.
So that's like different, and he's taken in by the government.
I know everything that you think you know, it just got flipped.
Yeah, like Hal Jordan's not a Green Lantern. He stays a pilot.
He said, "Yep."
Obviously Barry doesn't have the power. So yeah, that was the big thing. Barry realize he doesn't have powers.
Yeah,
because he's
just a normal.
He's just a normal dude, solo dude, single dude.
Yeah,
because his mom was like, "It's okay if you're gay."
Wait, that line threw me off because I was like, "What?"
He's like, "Mom, I had something to tell you. That you're gay? What?
What?
Also, what?
Who?"
Yeah, which I was like, "Damn, he's single as fuck." Then I see.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, all this stuff got flipped. It's essentially also like all the bad guys were kind of good, and all the good guys were kind of bad.
Kind of bad, yeah. They were
like
anti-heroes.
Like the rogues, for instance, are like the Captain Boomerang, and I don't remember who I think Mirror Master or someone. They're good guys technically.
Yeah, I think Mirror Master.
I think it was Mirror Master.
Yeah.
But they're good guys. And it was all
Cyborg.
Cyborg's still good, but he's for the government.
He works for the government. He works for the president.
Yeah. Or let's say like and then like Shazam, the 6 kids become one instead.
Yeah.
That does happen in some iterations, but in this one it was weird.
This one was like quick.
Yeah, it was
they like
quick.
quickly did it. Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to think of some. Yeah, I think Okay, did you expect Aquaman and Wonder Woman to bang?
No.
And that's how the war started.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I will touch on that because it gets brought up again at the end, right? And it was
No,
just,
it's really
I thought it was a
weird.
weird thing, but I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go with it because this is a what if. This just like doesn't matter. But I didn't expect. Yeah, I was like, oh, I guess they're banging, but I guess king and queen, fuck it, right? But then
Yeah.
Mira gets. This is like one of the.
But then Mira
where,
gets
like,
involved.
she catches them, so she tries to like.
Yeah.
She tries to take it out on Wonder Woman, but it dies. But not only dies, like they're in love with decapitating people in this movie. They say screw it.
Especially Wonder Woman.
Yes, actually yes.
Especially Wonder
She's very
Woman.
into like strangling and like
Yeah.
with the whip.
Like hanging people. It's
Yeah, hanging
weird.
people with the whip. I was like, oh my god. Like how she hangs what's his name?
That I forget.
The one that the guy that's associated with her in the comics, or her love interest.
Oh,
the
her
human.
love interest. Oh,
I can't remember all of a
what's his
sudden.
name?
All I could think of was Chris Pine. I'm like, that's not it.
I know.
I'm
Same.
like, stop. That's not his name.
I was like, Chris Pine.
But no, it was just, again, I think a lot of the movie, the charm comes from like the flip side of like a lot of things. Because like for instance, Deathstroke and like Lex Luthor are working together trying to like figure out.
It's the
something.
craziest thing.
I forgot the atom, the atomic dude. I forget.
Oh, the atomic guy.
I forgot. He's like a bomb now because he's captured.
Yeah.
Uh,
They added in a lot of people and like flipped.
yeah, but they flipped a lot of
everything.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deathstroke was really funny, especially meeting Lois, like trying to like rescue her when she was in the Amazon.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was.
He was like, "Oh, hey, hot stuff," and I was like, "Huh? What? Who?
Wait, Deathstroke? Was that Deathstroke?
Was that Deathstroke? I think
No,
it
no,
was.
no, that's.
Or was that
That was a grifter.
someone? Okay.
The almost Deadpool lookalike.
Yes.
That's how, when I first saw him, I had to look into him more. And I was like, this guy acts like Deadpool. What?
He had some funny lines. Yes, oh god. Now I know. Oh god, now
I was like,
this.
wait, Deathstroke. No, because they died on the ship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it's the whole world's really interesting to me in that everything is dictated by the Amazons and the Atlanteans.
And like Atlanteans. Yeah.
And it really shows in this universe, that if they weren't good, they really did have that much power. And they really don't like humans.
They were feared. Yeah, they didn't care about humans at all.
Yeah. Now, how'd you feel about how the whole subplot, or I guess the main plot, it felt like a subplot because I was more interested on the outside stuff. How Barry's and Thomas Wayne's interactions and how they met and all that. What you think?
So, Thomas is a dick.
Absolutely, 100%.
100%. Because I was thinking about it and I was like, wow, Thomas and Bruce, they are literally father and son. They're both dicks to everyone.
But they're like, so like, actually, like, they're both dicks, but I think like Thomas Wayne is like a bigger dick.
No, I was going to say Thomas Wayne is like
an asshole, like more of an asshole.
He's an asshole, yeah. I think the way Barry handled Thomas, it was like in a comedic relief way, because he was like, oh, like, okay, well, why can't you just give me this because you're rich? Because he basically like did all these like one-liners to Thomas. And I thought that interaction was really interesting because Barry knew he couldn't say anything about the future because that literally messes up everything. But the way Thomas like was questioning like, is Bruce like still alive in, you know, the future or like other timelines? But Barry didn't say anything, but I feel like at that point silence meant a lot to Thomas. I think that's what convinced Thomas to help.
No. Barry does tell him that he becomes the Batman.
Yeah, but he was like pretty silent about it. He was like, yeah. And then I think I found it really interesting because Batman doesn't like teaming up with people, and they really talked about like the Justice League, like just like a team basically that like helps, you know, the world and whatnot. So Cyborg was like part of that like initiation.
Yeah.
And not Batman.
Because they really pushed how like the government it was government government
It was
based.
like government based. It was like CIA.
Yeah.
Like,
but they were like trying to say like, oh, based on our analysts, it's not going to be a successful team without the Batman. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, because they wanted like a strategist or something. So
yeah, and Thomas in this movie and this like story, he was just super anti, like team, like super anti team.
Yes, you're usually Batman. Typically is known for that. Like Bruce is known for that, but this one it just felt like he was like, nah.
He was really pushing on like the no.
Yeah, hell no.
But yeah, I think their interaction was really interesting. I found it really funny when Barry got his suit and then he just like left, and Thomas, he like turns around, he almost like broke the fourth wall, and he was like, huh, this is how it feels.
So that's what it feels like on this.
Yeah, he was like, huh.
I was like, classic knows what Batman's up.
Oh yeah. How did you feel about Thomas? I know because you love Bruce.
So I thought it was a great twist because, for instance, all the little things of like what Bruce does, right, more philanthropic like in general, but then Batman uses the tech and all that. Meanwhile, Thomas Wayne is not tech centric whatsoever. Like his computer's old. He runs a casino, and then they're like, "Oh, what about the Batplane?" He's like, "The what?" And he just has a jet, and it makes sense because yes, he has money, but it makes sense. Like they're like, "What?" Barry was like, "Oh, you know, the Bruce had like a nice like a plane that could do blah, blah blah." He's like, "Yeah, well, Bruce probably didn't have to worry about transporting all these guys from casino to casino on the down low, like smuggling stuff." And then I love how Cyborg's like, "Do you need to have the alcohol?" He's like, "Yep, yeah, everything's top shelf. Help yourself." I was like, "Oh my god."
That was so funny.
So good. I do love how even when Barry was like, so I thought it was fun to see, and this is like a cool part to see how typically kind of branching but really quick. Essentially, this is kind of just going back to like after Barry gets hurt trying to recreate the accident. He's like, if I didn't have to worry about healing my wounds, I would totally go to a different doctor because your bedside manners suck.
Yeah.
And he's like,
but then Bruce is like, or not Bruce, Thomas is like, I don't care.
Yeah, he's like, I haven't been a doctor in like years. I just own a casino. I was like, oh dang, yeah, he really just went down under.
Yeah.
It's because it's fun there is a comic that kind of deals with his side when
Thomas's, right?
Yeah, because I also have that one, and it's really,
God.
Dude, I'm telling you, when they did this flip, it was so interesting because I was like, oh, it's finally a flip side to something because you're so used to like typical Bruce backstory, but they do delve into like what he does, and he truly believes that he's like Red Hood would love this guy because he's like control crime by like through a casino.
Through money.
He's
smart.
Yeah, because he's like, I have all this money, which is so different from how Bruce thought he would handle things. He's like, oh, like there are times when Bruce is always like, what would my parents do? Well, in this universe,
he's basically a rich boy.
Yeah,
he's basically just a rich boy. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, wow, Thomas would just control things too. Well, I mean, given the fact that his son's dead and all that, right?
Yeah. Well, and then his wife turned into the Joker. And, yeah.
I thought that scene was crazy. Also, by the way,
I was scared because that dim light and then like her holding Bruce like that. I was like, oh no, this is
such a cool thing where she has Bruce's blood and she gasps, and then she freaks out, but then she notices that, and that's when she just clicks. Like, it just flipped the switch.
Yeah. But it's also sad because then both parents went different directions.
Oh yeah, opposites. And now they're like enemies in a sense, but it's such a it's like a different kind of tragedy.
Yeah. And they can't kill each other and sob story.
Yeah. We'll kind of jump into, because essentially Act 2 was just like, oh, Barry gets his powers back. Now we got to figure out where people are.
Like what's gonna happen.
A lot of the movie, I thought it was just fun. Again, I don't think the plot's good. I think it's explained better comic wise, but this is more of just like a, hey, look where this guy is at. Oh, he's this one now. Like how Jordan's not the Green Lantern. But you see the lantern
Which was
that
cool,
died.
but you see the lantern,
Yeah, you see the lantern though, but his ring flew away because how Hal wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, awkward. So yeah, but essentially all the middle stuff is like Lois is in a inside reporter trying to figure out stuff.
Like a super inside
Super inside reporter.
Yeah.
There's the resistance that's trying to get back at, trying to protect humanity, and all this stuff. That's where the grifter comes in. Etrigan is good.
Is good, yeah.
It's weird. Or he's like siding with humanity. I was all right, cool. Demons with them, cool. But yeah, anyway, so they try to find and there's another point when they try to find Superman. There's all, it kind of jumps around. I think that's the other thing. That the movie at this point just kind of jumps to plot points, but I think Act 3 is just where everyone gets together and fights,
which is really cool.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite sequence in that, or something that popped out to you besides the ending?
It was definitely like, I was waiting for Superman versus Batman like fight scene, and it did happen.
Superman?
Was it Superman? It was
You mean
someone.
Which one? Aquaman?
No, Aquaman. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause I was waiting, cause they didn't show off too much powers from Aquaman.
Yeah.
In a sense. So like, besides the beginning, but I was just kind of waiting for Aquaman to do his shit.
He just kind of pokes and stabs.
And he was like poking and stabbing, and I was like, this is no fun. Yeah. Well, they were all kind of big.
They were all kind of big.
No, but I thought it was really cool. I just love seeing like speedsters just kind of like run through and like do slow, like you can see like the slow-mo or like how fast they're going.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really excited about seeing like Barry do all of that. I think that was like my favorite part.
Yeah. Because I think it was fun to see like Barry kind of like intervene on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they just kind of take on people. Because Batman does fight Aquaman for a bit, but they kind of take on little fights here and there. But the big one is
everyone fought like each other.
Yeah. Everyone kind of they all had their bouts really quick.
Yes.
But then of course there's Reverse Flash. Then it gets revealed that like Reverse Flash versus Flash,
which was crazy.
Yeah. So how'd you feel? Did you have anything like once he popped up? For me, I was just like, whoa.
I was scared.
I was
scared. I'm not gonna lie. Reverse Flash scares me every time he pops up.
Is it because of CW or just in general?
I think in general.
Yeah.
Because
even in the comics, he was kind of like crazy,
I think it's the eyes. It's definitely the eyes. I think that's what gets me. But yeah, I think Reverse Flash is just absolutely crazy in any universe and any show that you watch. So I saw like his suit just come by. I was like, wait, what? I literally like did a double take. I was like, what's happening?
Did you expect like I had to think about it. At first when Lois was getting attacked in the middle of Act 2, I thought the Flash came to save her. But then you realized it wasn't. Because it's true, because you realize the blur's yellow and not red.
Yeah. But then Lois was like, oh,
where's
this
the
person's fast. Yeah, where's the speedster?
It's like, who?
And so I had the same thought. And then when like the third act came around and like Reverse Flash was, he
was like, I let Lois see me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought that was going even before that. I thought it was cool how Batman caught on, and he was like, oh, while you were trying to be like goody two shoes, I noticed that there's a comms thing going on, and I saw the Reverse Flash. And it's like, I love how he's able to break down why RF does certain things, and Barry's like what's happening? He's like, no, with his psychosis he has to do all this stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool.
No, it is cool. Thomas, like, he really broke it down. No wonder the government really wanted him to work with that.
Yeah. It like just shows like low key it's genetics.
I know.
I was like, oh, it is just genetics. Yeah, I thought, and then I loved how like the big explanation was like Barry asked RF, why did you do this? Look at what's happening, and RF's like, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. Did you like how his explanation was literally just because Barry saved his mom? Yeah.
Because Barry was too fast. Run, Barry, run.
But it's really cool how he explains how like he's like, it's like the sonic boom, and then it goes supersonic, sonic boom. you break the Speed Force, time boom. Or break like the whatever,
or like
I forgot what it's called.
The wall. I call
time,
it the wall.
something like
time
that.
wall or something.
I forgot what it's called, but he's like time boom. I was like, nice. I like it. It sounds so stupid and corny.
And then it's just like, wow, if Barry just did not save his mom.
It's crazy. It's like because it's all while in the background, Barry sees like everyone getting like killed or like ripped apart, essentially,
or like really hurt, or
really
like
hurt.
ripped apart,
like Cyborg getting ripped apart and all that stuff, and then like Aquaman losing his arm.
Yep.
And then just to see like, Aquaman being the most pettiest person loses to Wonder Woman. It's like, nah, I have an atomic time bomb going. Sorry.
He's an absolute petty man.
Even though, okay, I said we addressed it. Sorry, really quick, because yeah, essentially, RF says this is all Barry's fault. Can I just say that whole sub romance thing is the weirdest thing, because it just showed it to me. It's just more like, oh, this is a stupid romance shit. Because then he's like, they start a war because Aquaman's like, you killed my wife.
Yeah.
And then she's like, it was all in self-defense. And he's like, oh yeah, but you wear her crown? Is that like a trophy? He's like, no, it's a warning. I was like, this is all like super gaslighty. Like,
oh yeah, it is.
Like, kept going back and forth because he's like, I thought I loved you, you never did. I was like, yes, you guys banged, but wait, you loved her, but you got mad because she killed your wife.
Like, this is
a typical typical like cheating on story type shit, but at a super human level.
Oh my god, I know. They were so petty about it too. She was just like, but it was in self-defense. I'm wearing her crown because I want to. I
want to send a warning. Don't ever do that to. Don't ever send your wife after we slept together. How dare you? The audacity.
I kind of rolled my eyes at that. I was like,
No, I was like, I'm so glad this isn't like a normal like comic line thing.
Actual like comic line.
This is just a what if thing, because it really didn't make sense. It still didn't, like, I had to check. I was like, yep, that's kind of what happened. Still doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, yeah.
Yeah. So that was just my one, not gripe. I was just like, what?
Your eye rolling.
I was like,
what?
Whatever.
No.
It's fine. But then, how did RF die? It wasn't by the Flash, per se.
Really?
Yeah, RF Reverse Flash died by the Batman, essentially.
Oh, the Batman, yeah.
Yeah. Boom.
And I had to think about that. I was like,
I will say, I would not think that would happen. But I guess some people, I remember reading like people talking about, oh, sorry. Yeah. Because like.
No, because I was like, yeah, the Batman did it. But then I was like, wait, Reverse Flash is like super fast. Super.
There's got to be some sort of sensory thing that he would have noticed, right?
Yeah.
But again, I would like to believe, in my head canon, I think someone, like, people have talked about this back then. Like, RF is so up in his head and so egotistical at this point that he's like, oh, I've like totally have like.
You know what Reverse Flash needs? He needs medicine and he needs therapy.
They don't have that in the future.
He needed both.
That's a sad future.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, too bad.
Too bad. So sad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's like, what, from the 25th century or something? I forget which one, but
I think like 25th, 26th, something like that.
Super far ahead. But I was like, damn, he has such an ego and such like issues that's not a thing. Okay, whatever. Yeah, no, Batman shoots him in the head. I was like, damn. Honestly, though, coolest thing to see, biggest surprise, biggest like switch up that I did not expect that when I first watched it.
I honestly thought Barry was gonna like do more. Like in that moment, I thought Barry was gonna do more.
Yes. But in the end, Batman saves Barry and essentially tells them because right before that, Batman got shot or something.
He got shot or he got stabbed.
And he was like, oh yeah, he's totally dead. So that was one big zinger. And I think RF probably thought that too.
He was like, got the Batman, got Thomas.
Literally before the universe ended, everyone dies.
Yeah.
And Barry literally had to run to go stop himself.
Genocide.
It was. They said, forget this universe.
Then Barry had to run after Barry.
Classic.
Yeah, I was going to say classic, yeah.
classic because I still remember CW season 1. You see Barry and you see him in the closet. Out of context.
You see him in the closet, like literally in the closet.
Spoilers?
Yeah, maybe. It's been out.
No, that happened early on too. Anyway.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah, stops himself, saves the universe. And now we're in the new 52.
52.
Yeah.
Typical Barry though, having to run after himself.
Yeah, fix his own mistakes.
To fix it. Yeah.
Fix
to fix himself from not saving his mom.
Yeah, which is honestly is really sad.
Yeah.
That's to me like at time it feels better when you realize like, oh, he's come to terms that he has to just let his mom go. So, because that's the whole reason why that's the whole reason we went back. He just felt the guilt. Then I think it's kind of weird because it's like, oh, he felt so guilty that what had to wake him up was the world ending. When you really think about it, I was like, ooh.
No, Barry just said, I don't want the world to end. He had to run back.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, gotta go.
Yeah. I think the biggest feels moment was Bruce getting a letter from his dad.
Yes.
And I think that was like a nice way to end it. I was like, damn. That's a big feel.
Because I was just like, oh, will Bruce like get anything from Thomas? And
then boom, the letter.
It was nice.
But have you seen the amount of memes that came out of that?
No.
So back then, not to like poop on such a touching moment, but back then when he would open the letter, and you see it's from Thomas Wayne. Yeah. This is during the dick butt era. So he would open it.
No.
Dick butt was on it.
Oh my god. No.
And then he would cry. And then he would cry right.
Oh my god. Oh, you're totally serious too. I know
totally
exactly
serious.
what meme they're like. Oh my god.
It's the classic
You are the
dick butt.
worst.
But then he would like open it, and then it's like it would just show it, and he would just get it's that tear right after.
The tear.
And I'm like, damn, that's right.
The feels.
Anyway, overall, I guess overall you had fun with it, right?
No, I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
So I watched this pre Kevin dying.
Oh, yeah.
And then I had to rewatch it post. So I was in my feels for Batman for a long time. Yeah. But yeah, I had really a lot of fun. It was nice to see the flipped personalities, but it just made me appreciate them like as they are.
Yeah. It's always fun to like bring up the what if, because people always like what if, like our alternate universe stuff, alternate situations and all that. So this one was a cool one to see, because back then I think the old ones, all the alternate stuff is always like, oh, what if the Justice League was bad, or what if they did that. But I felt like this is at the time this was like a really big one where they just flipped a lot of stuff on its head again, but it just played on everyone's expectations really well at the time. So.
No, I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed, I think it was Michael B. Jordan with Cyborg, right?
I believe so.
I think so. Okay, yeah, it was nice to hear him.
Believe so.
Yeah, and yeah, no, I was really excited for like how they were gonna flip this series, because this was supposed to be like, Flashpoint. So it's just like a start of like a new era and series.
Yes, he was. By the way.
Oh, yay! But yeah, I think it was interesting. I like DC's alternate timelines. They're super interesting.
Especially in this one, they just did not hold back.
This was like the extreme like 180 like of everyone. So it was cool. I had fun.
It was fun. Nice. I think talking about it, because I thought about it as I was watching, I think it's just endearing to see. It's just fun to see the alternate stuff. Otherwise, the plot's very simple. And it really is just, but as a movie, it was very choppy. It kind of jumped to a lot of stuff.
It was jumping
just around, to like introduce the concept of Lois, for instance, right? Or the concept of the resistance, just to show him fight at the end, and then boom, done.
Yeah.
So I guess this is more like for Easter eggs of like, oh, look at this guy. This guy's here. Oh, this guy's here.
Yeah, and you really have to know the universe. I
you
think,
appreciate
to watch this.
you appreciate it more if you know the backstories of everyone.
Yeah.
So, or like the little tidbits of like, oh, that's the Green Lantern that's frozen right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I thought it was fun. That's fun.
It was great. I loved it.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, no, I was wondering if the Flash, like the live action, might. I wonder how that's gonna play off.
Because it is based on this comic story,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
And that's why, no matter what was gonna happen, this was good. That movie is gonna be the reset button.
Yeah.
Like,
And we all know it's a Flash movie, so
Mhm.
it's like Barry's gonna mess up
Yeah.
some way somehow.
He's already messed up in real life, so don't worry about it.
Yes.
Or they already messed up in real life.
They
Sorry.
yes.
I'm keeping up. Yeah, I know a lot
I
of
think
people
it'll
at
be
the time.
interesting to see animated versus the live action.
Yeah.
I think that's what.
This is like the only reason why I even care about it is one, see how things happen,
Yeah.
and then two, because now that the DCU is
A thing.
conceptualized and is a thing. I say that because it really didn't feel like there was any structure besides
Oh, no.
Snyderverse. But
Yeah. Let's forget about Snyderverse.
I mean, they did.
Yeah, they did.
And they're about to. Don't worry about
we were about to, yeah.
it. Yeah, it'll be. I that's the only reason why I kind of want to see it, just to see what happened. It's literally the curiosity of what happened. What's gonna happen?
The what ifs.
Literally the what ifs, because that is the fun part. Because that's the whole thing of, if you haven't been following that for like years on end, Michael Keaton was supposed to be in this and is. He's headlining, or he's a headliner
Yeah,
on that too.
He's a headliner.
So
yeah.
why would that happen? Universe stuff.
Supposedly,
because
Yeah.
we don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't keep up with this movie
Yeah. No, we don't.
because all I care about is the new DCU stuff. DC is such a hard thing to talk about.
DCU,
Besides this
I
movie,
know.
because we'll try to keep up with this most likely, because this movie jump started the whole line, and I really truly believe that this anime universe is a very good cohesive story.
I mean, I'm a quarter way through, and it's pretty cool.
Time to go through it, right?
I know, time to go through it.
But yeah, I guess we'll see how the new movie goes and how maybe the new 52 animated reviews go.
Yes, that Harrison's doing, because we need some DC stuff
We need
this
some
year.
DC stuff.
Sprinkle in some DC.
For real. But you got anything else to add?
I don't. Go watch it.
Go watch it. We already said it. We said it multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yes, we have.
But thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button. It's been a while. And notification bell to get updates for when we upload. Also, subscribe. It's the big red button.
Big red button below me.
Below Veronica. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would believe that's down.
Yeah. I was like, this is down, right?
But yeah, let us know how we're doing, what you want to see next, what you want us kind of giving some other stuff. We're trying to pump out some more stuff because
Yes, we
backlog's
are.
insane. So we're like, oh, we're kind of going slow, so let's keep going.
You'll see us more. That's all I'll say.
But yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.